Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild. This was not supposed to be my first video of the day, but they revealed the Great One Fallow Deer on the EW stream. I was going to cover the whole trailer and all the stuff with Australia, but this is something I'm a little bit more interested in because this is the most insane Great One I think they may have ever released. Not only do the variations look incredible, but they're pretty realistic for the most part. The antlers are, at least. This is the fabled golden right here with what appears to be a giant, non-typical fallow rack. This is kind of what I expected out of a Great One Fallow. This very much reminds me of like a giant farm deer type of rack, like an escaped farm deer, which is kind of what a lot of the Great Ones tend to resemble. So that is really, really cool. We've got a lot of different variations to these fallow deer that they've been showing off, and it's honestly probably going to be the most exciting part of the update for me. You guys know me. I'm going to be going for this thing the second I get a chance to. There's just so many cool different variations that these fallow deer Great Ones can get. The one we're looking at right now is the fabled silver, if I'm not mistaken, which is probably going to be a fan favorite if I were to take a guess. This is one of the nicer looking ones, and that rack on top of its head, it's really crazy. Now, when we first saw this, we kind of thought that maybe it had velvet. It doesn't look like it has velvet in here. I think it's just a very, like, bulky rack. And as you can see, there's no tines coming off of it for the most part. It's like a full-on palmated rack with extra palmation and mass. And I think that's really cool. So that's going to be a really... It's going to be a favorite for me, at least rack-wise. I'm going to be going for that for sure. To be honest, I'm probably going to go for them all. Let's be honest, this is going to be one of those Great Ones where I probably will not stop until I get the majority of the different combinations. This one right here is the fabled painted. Definitely an interesting looking rack on top of its head. Honestly, this is probably my least favorite antlers-wise, though it does kind of resemble an Irish elk, which is kind of cool. But the fabled painted as a fur type is pretty nice, I gotta say. All the fur types. At this point, I don't think I'd be sad with a single fur type. Here we have another one. This is the fabled hooded, and it looks just as good as the others. This might be the best set of fur types they've done for any species in the game. It just fits the fallow deer, and for the first time with these crazy fur types, they've managed to do it in a way to where it still seems somewhat realistic. Like a lot of these fur types, I could totally believe that being a fallow deer fur type, which I think that is a huge positive. Because one type of criticism I saw people give with the moose was that some of the different variations didn't look very realistic, and so they couldn't get into it. So I could see that not being as big of a problem with the fallow, because a lot of these variations do look really similar to what you could expect in real life, I guess. This is probably my favorite out of all of the fur variations, the fabled mocha. This just looks so stunning. The kind of golden colors with the darker blacks and browns mixed just kind of looks so insane. And this rack is also probably my favorite rack if I were to pick one. I know I really like the palmated one as well, but this right here, this is just insane. It looks like saw blades. It hooks inwards like fallow deer tend to do in real life. So this is definitely going to be one of my top picks. If I could get this combination, I would be happy. Now let's kind of just roll some of the footage in the background of these fallow deer as he spawned in more of them further down in the stream. And we're going to talk about what I think of the fallow deer. So, what do I think of the Great One Fallow Deer from what we've seen? Well, in my opinion, this is probably going to take the place for my favorite Great One in the game. The moose were pretty far ahead of anything else, but now the fallow deer have just shot up above them as well. They have really been outdoing themselves in terms of the looks of these Great Ones as of recent. The moose was a massive step above the bear and the red deer, and then we've got the fallow deer being a step above the moose as well. Though I'm sure some of you probably would disagree with that. I'm sure some of you probably still like the moose more. This is my new favorite. These racks and these fur variations for these fallow deer are just incredible, and they're everything that I expected and could have ever wanted with a Great One Fallow Deer. And with them being on the new Australia map, yes, that was confirmed during this same stream. Australia is going to have fallow deer, which means we have Tiabaroa, Hirschfelden, and Australia to choose from for our Great One Fallow grind. I'm going to try and get some probably off of Tiabaroa and off of Australia. We will see which one ends up being our main grinding location. It's either going to be Australia or Tiabaroa based on how easy and fun it is to find all the zones. I suppose it's still up for debate as to whether or not Australia is going to be a good fallow map because we don't really have any information as of now. I'm hoping that it's going to be better than Tiabaroa because right now Tiabaroa is the king of fallow deer and it's going to be really hard to beat Tiabaroa for the fallow deer. So we'll see if Australia can take the place of the best fallow map. But for sure we're going to try and get at least one off of that map, probably for our first grind because, I mean, it'll be the new map. We got to do it. Let me know down in the comments what you think your favorite variation and combination is going to be. What rack and what fur type are you going to try and go for? And do you think there's any other variations? Jaxie did mention that he couldn't choose what spawns in, and it was random, so I guess there's always a possibility that maybe a rack or a fur type didn't get shown off. But I mean, with 5 fur types and I believe 4 different antler variations, that's going to give us a lot of variety. So even if that's all we get, I'm going to be very, very, very happy with that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe as well as turning on the notifications so that you guys will not miss any of the future uploads. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.